Hello and welcome to the another session on tips and workflow. In today's session, I'm going to discuss on to the direct geometry editing feature available in Autodesk Moldflow. So before I go and try to explore these features, I want to give a little introduction when this feature was introduced. This was introduced along with the release of Autodesk Moldflow 2017 R2. So what does it allows you to do? It allows you to modify the CAD geometry in normal in the vector directions. We'll have a deeper look at it during the demonstration. So preview option is available to confirm whether the deformation is in valid directions in the valid magnitude as you need it. Find and preserve the connected chamfers and fillets. So if you want to prevent their chamfers associated with those surface, that can also be preserved. So a little look at it, how does it works is like vector allows you to move the feature like I shown in this allows you to move in any directions where you want, or normal can be moved in the towards the axis for the cylindrical type of features, or it could be also on to increasing the thicknesses. It could be used on the inside as well as the outside surface. So there are multiple ways and combinations and permutations we can work around with the help of vectors and normals. But the best part I like of this feature is along with the geometry optimizations, and provided you want to work on something like in geometry optimizations where you are not sure which thickness is going to work for you, I can save that surface and play around with the combinations. Like in this case, I can play with the multiple combinations, and it can help me to find and investigate which combinations is working for me as per the required criteria. So let's have a demonstration on that. How does it works? The most important part of when you're trying to edit the geometry, it should be imported as an CAD or a solid model. If you try to work on a surface model, it may not work. So where do you find this geometry editing feature? In the geometry tab, under the modify CAD surfaces, two options would be there, normal and vector. So let's first try with the normal. I'm going to select some surfaces. Very quickly, and probably you have to move around a little bit for the selections, and you can see that I just selected the three main surfaces. You need not to worry on to the selection of the fillets. Just put in like in search criteria, it will automatically select those chamfers and radius associated with those surfaces. And probably I can do a preview of this. Like in this case, I'm going to do a preview of like what's going to happen if I move it with minus 3 mm. You can see that it has expanded now. This is a great feature. You don't have to come out of the Moldflow to do the geometry editing. And with one click meshing, you are ready to do those permutation and combinations. So this was on to the very quick overview on the normals. But if you want to move the features, like in this case, let's try and move some features. I'm trying to select this whole, and I want to move this whole by a little bit in X direction or Y directions, because this location doesn't know is not as per my requirement, or later it has changed by the design team. So I can select it whether the any fillets or chamfers associated with, of course no, and then I try to move it in the X directions by 2 mm say. Let's have a preview of this. Yeah, it's moved. And the most important part of how do you use these features for the optimization. So I'll go into the again or vector direction, and I'm going to select in this case a complete base of this and say that whether any fillets associated with, and I'm going to save this geometry. Okay, and I'm going to fetch this as 1 mm. I'm going to move it by one direction in the Z directions. Like, sorry, this 0, 0, 1. I moved, and you can see that it has moved, and you can save this as the base wall. Okay, like this, I have selected a square and the base wall. Now, when I move on to the parametric optimization tool, sorry, parametric study, it allows me these options of like selection of the square base wall or or the base wall which I created. So in the square, I can edit it, say that 1 mm by 2 mm, 3 mm. So all permutation and combinations can be worked out on this one. Same as I can do it for the wall. The good part of this way, automatically those studies will be created in the background and they would be run. And if you see the criteria, comparison criteria, you can select how it is impacting on your injection pressure, how it is impacting onto the clamp force or the shear stress. Of course, I have selected as a filling analysis sequence. If you select that analysis sequence as fill pack warp, you will get further options. Yeah, you can select this and then we go on to the criteria on you get in multiple options. Particularly if you're really looking for the warpage analysis optimization, this study could be very useful. So let's get back to the presentation part of it. So launching the parametric geometry optimizations, you can play with all permutations that you have created. Each model is mesh and analyze and can be run on the cloud, because if you have multiple combinations, it just created the multiplications. If you say that modification for the wall has to be like a 2 mm or the modification for the base wall has to be of like 3, 4, 5 mm, then it just like 1 into those number of features is multiplied. It's a straight multiplications for the matrix creation. Results can be viewed in the result comparison explorer like shown in the below, and all permutations can be imported, compare and investigated. If you need to like and pull in like one study that is of your interest, it can be pulled and further studied on it. I hope this video was useful to you and you will try to apply those tips and workflow into your daily and get best out of the solutions, particularly when it comes to the optimization. If you need further informations, get in touch with the Autodesk sales representative or the same specialized partner in your area. Thank you very much.